Hello everyone, welcome to the virtual drive. So today I've got with me the Samsung Galaxy M21 and I'll be reviewing this unit. I've had this as my primary phone for around 2 weeks. I earlier used an iPhone 7 Plus and then I wanted to try out this Android phone. So I have this for around 2 weeks and now let's get started. I'm going to tell you some of the positives and negatives about this phone. Initially when I took over this phone, it feels really heavy, but the reason being is that the battery on this is a 6000 milliamps battery, which means I can guarantee you I was able to get around 1.5 to 2 days of battery life with this phone. But there is a twist to this. It comes with a 15 watts charger. It is fast charging, but the problem is that to charge a battery of this humongous size, it takes around 3 hours to bring your battery to full charge. But again, it's a matter of perspective. If you have this phone charged for around 50%, you can easily go through a day. So do not be worried that it takes a huge amount of time to charge the phone because the size of the battery is that huge. Imagine this phone without a fast charger. It would take around 6 hours to get this battery totally charged. So let me tell you about the other hardware features of this phone. It comes in two versions, 4GB and a 6GB version. The 4GB one has a 64 gigabytes of storage, whereas the other one has 128 gigs. 4GB seems to be okay with the phone because I haven't found any problem with multitasking. It's good even with games, but then the real problem is the phone has a lot of glitches. I mean, the software is not that buttery smooth. I don't think whether it is due to the RAM or whether it is Samsung's One UI which is creating the problem, because if multitasking is being really good, then the other animation glitches shouldn't be due to the processor, but maybe it's due to Samsung's One UI. So that is again not a problem. But then if you want a butter smooth animation, then this is not the phone for you. I think you should try the 6 gigabytes or 128 GB. 126 gigabytes and 128 GB storage. On the outer, the phone has a fingerprint sensor, and then it also comes with a headphone jack, so there is again no issue with that. The volume rockers and the power button on the side, but the problem is I feel that the power buttons and the volume rockers are very cheap. They don't look good in quality. Also, they do not feel right. It feels like it is going to deteriorate and break in a couple of months or so. I'm just saying it feels that way, but it shouldn't be a problem. It isn't going to break, but it feels that way. I've seen other phones way cheaper. They have better volume rockers and power buttons. So this is again something which I wanted to say. The next one to talk is that it has mono speakers at the bottom, so they are quite loud, and you should hear the ringtones even if they are in your pocket or somewhere in a different room. That is not a problem. Also, since the problem with these speakers is that they're facing the other way around, so if you're watching videos, then you're not getting that sound right in front of your face. So that is another problem, but again, for a phone of this budget, it really isn't a problem because the sound quality is good. The phone also gets hybrid slots. So the phone SIM card tray, it comes with dual SIM, also with the memory card. This is not a hybrid tray, which means you can use 2 SIM cards and a memory card all at the same time. The greatest thing I like about this phone is its display. This is a 402 ppi AMOLED display, which means the blacks are beautiful in here. I mean, they are black as this. You can't differentiate where the phone's display starts. That's how black it is. The contrast ratios are good. The darks are deeper and whites are brighter. I just love the display. Bringing such a display in a budget phone is a huge thing, because since it is an OLED display, you don't have to sacrifice battery life. At the same time, it's really good on your eyes. I love the way it's on my eyes. Even in a dark room, I really don't have to worry about the brightness level, because it's easy on my eyes. With every phone manufacturer bringing in dark mode, this is really the display that you need if you are a lover of dark mode and dark themes. The display is just Samsung-like. If you're someone who values a display really important, and then this is the right phone for you, because I don't think anyone can match this display at this price point. In the box, well, when I was unboxing, I wasn't able to find any headphones with the phone. So that is a bummer, because you just again have to spend around 500 rupees to buy a headphone for this Samsung phone. So this is again a problem there. And also, hold on a minute. I would like to tell you that this is the size of the, I would like to tell you that this is the size of the charging cable that they have given us. It's too small. Obviously, it's not long enough to be around your table, or it's not comfortable enough. So this is again a problem. It comes with a triple camera system in the rear. The one is a normal wide angle camera, which is a 48 megapixel Shura, and then you have this 8 megapixel ultra wide angle, which gives you a large field of view, and then you have this 5 megapixel depth sensor, which helps you with taking portrait modes and live focus, which gives you the bokeh effect. With the front camera, they have included a 20 megapixel front facing camera. It also has the depth effect, but then it's a total waste of time. The software is very, very poor. I'm going to throw in some photos samples, which I think if you see would not be impressed, but let me anyhow show you those photos. The 20 megapixel, the thing that I didn't love about the camera is that Samsung is doing too much with the image processing. The images look very smooth, which is again, they look very unnatural. They don't look real. It's like I've been put on layers and layers of makeup on my face. So imagine if a woman is already in makeup. It just gives you double layers of makeup. So that thing I haven't even turned on the beautify mode yet, but still there's a lot of image processing going on with the Samsung phones. That is a really bad thing, because the images look totally unnatural. Regarding the rear camera, I'm going to show you samples now. Stay tuned. However, the video has both 4K and 1080p recording, both at 30 fps. So video recording is good, and it has electronic image stabilization. So I think if you are someone who wants to vlog or something with a rear camera, then it's definitely going to work. Even with the front camera, you have 1080p. And the camera bump, there's not any. It's very negligible. Now let's go talk about the performance of the phone. So the phone does not come with a lot of bloatware, just like all Android phones. The bloatwares are less. You can, even if you cannot uninstall them, you can disable them. But still the phone feels fast enough for applications and other things that you might do. For example, if you're playing games and if you're multitasking seriously, the phone does not show you any troubles. But with animations and the user interface, they seem a little laggy. It's not exactly laggy. I mean, you can see that there is a drop in frame rates or something. There are jerks in the movements of animations. I think this is mainly due to Samsung's tuning of One UI, or maybe this phone is not optimized for One UI 2.0. I'm not sure about that, but if that doesn't bother you, it's not a problem, because the applications and games work really fine with the kind of performance it gives. So what are the negatives that I would like to say? I mean, the front camera is not really good for portrait modes. It's definitely the worst for portrait mode. So if you're someone who is always into front cameras for photos, then definitely it's not the thing to you. However, the rear camera is really good. The rear camera is really good. So with the ultra-wide photos, as well as however, you should be able to deal with the image processing that Samsung brings in. Apart from that, I wasn't able to find any major problem with this phone, because the battery life is great. I was able to use around 2 days of usage with the phone. And then I love the display. A lot of factors, look at the display. A lot of factors are more positive for this phone than its negatives. Although you can see that the corners are too much, there are too much rounding in the corners. It's merely to save cost in making these kind of displays, but it doesn't feel odd. But if you're someone who looks very keenly, sometimes it feels a little odd to use such a phone. The fingerprints speed is really good. The fingerprint, no problems with fingerprint. You can it immediately unlocks the phone. So fingerprint is again, it's present in a really good position. So who should buy this phone? If you're someone who's looking for terrific battery life, and if you want good displays which show beautiful photos, and if you watch a lot of videos, and if you're into all that HD and kind of things, this display is really going to enrich those things, and this will be definitely a good phone. If you have any doubts and if you want to know any other features about this phone, feel free to let them in the comments below, and I'll be glad to reply you immediately. If you like the video, give it a like and share it if anyone is looking forward to buy this phone, so that the information is going to be helpful to them. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to do a drop test of this phone, so make sure you subscribe so that you get the notification and you watch the drop test. Thank you. Stay tuned to Virtual Drive.